Hello, and welcome to the First Unitarian Church of Oakland. Usually we meet in our wonderful historic building at 14th and Castro, but today, in honor of Earth Day, we're meeting here in the garden. The folks at the First Unitarian Church of Oakland are trying as hard as we can to create a multiracial, multi-generational, LGBTQ-friendly congregation that works for justice and spiritual growth for everyone. Our lead minister is the Reverend Teresa Soto, but today's service is organized by the Earth Justice Associates, who work to implement environmental justice at church and in the wider community. I'm a member of the Earth Justice Associates and your worship associate for today, Corliss Smith.
We light this chalice, symbol of Unitarian Universalism. May it remind us of the divine spark in all of creation, the power of love to heal what is broken, and to be grateful for life's blessings each day.
We light this candle in solidarity with the Black Lives Matter movement and work for the day in which Black lives are treated equitably with dignity and justice.
Lo, the earth awakes again. Alleluia. From the winter's bond and pain. Alleluia. Bring relief and flower and spring. Alleluia. To adorn this happy day. Alleluia. Once again the word comes true. Alleluia. All the earth shall be made new. Alleluia. Now the dark cold days are gone. Alleluia. Spring and gladness are before. Alleluia. Change then mourning into praise. Alleluia. And for dirges anthems raise. Alleluia. How our spirits soar and sing. Alleluia. How our hearts beat with the spring. Alleluia.
Hi, I'm Joanna Macy, and for our prayer this 50th Earth Day, I'd like to offer words from John Seed, an Australian rainforest activist. And he calls this invocation. We ask for the presence of the spirit of Gaia and pray that the breath of life continues to caress this planet home. May we grow into a true understanding, a deep understanding that inspires us to protect the tree on which we bloom, and the water, soil, and atmosphere without which we have no existence. May we turn inward and stumble upon the roots, our true roots, in the intertwining biology of this exquisite planet. May nourishment and power pulse through these roots, and fierce determination to continue the billion-year dance. We call upon the spirit of evolution, the miraculous force that inspires rocks and dust to weave themselves into biology. You have stood by us for millions and billions of years. Do not forsake us now. Empower us and awaken in us pure and dazzling creativity. You that can turn scales into feathers, seawater to blood, caterpillars to butterflies. We need you to survive the present crisis and evolve into more eons of our solar journey. Awaken in us a sense of who we truly are, ephemeral blossoms on the tree of life. Make the purposes and destiny of that tree our own purpose and destiny. May we speak in all human councils on behalf of the animals, plants, and landscapes of Earth. May we shine with a pure light that will spread rapidly through these leaden times. O stars, lend us your burning passion. O silence, give weight to our voice.
Hi, I'm Susan Kiter. I'm going to sing the Garden Song, and I hope that you'll sing with me. Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, someone bless these seeds I sow. Someone warm them from below till the rain comes tumbling down. Pulling weeds and picking stones, we are made of dreams and bones. Feel the need to grow my own, 'cause the time is close at hand. Grain for grain, sun and rain, find my way in nature's chain. Tune my body and my brain to the music from the land. Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, someone bless these seeds I sow. Someone warm them from below till the rain comes tumbling down. Plant your rows straight and long, temper them with prayer and song. Mother Earth will keep you strong if you give her love and care. Old crow watching hungrily from her perch in yonder tree. In my garden I'm as free as that feathered thief up there. Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, someone bless these seeds I sow. Someone warm them from below till the rain comes tumbling down. Someone warm them from below till the rain comes tumbling down.
Hi, this is Tom Haw. I've been a member of our church for, I guess, over 40 years. And in 1978, I came here when the church was really run down. The roof was leaking, the floors didn't tie up to the walls, and it was quite a mess. And I realized there's a great opportunity to do a very important thing to the area.
Hi, I'm Tamara Haw, and both of us have been in the church helping to improve it in various ways, and recently we joined the Earth Justice Associates and been working with a small group.
Well, and that's been a lot of loving people with lots of fun, talking with a lot of engineers, trying to figure out what are the best ways for us to make this a more energy efficient church with a lower carbon footprint. We've got some really exciting opportunities here that we're working on, and we want to be able to present these ideas to the congregation.
And even though there's a virus, that's keeping us all apart, we still think that we can, start talking as a congregation and come up with some exciting ideas for the future.
I think that if we look at this church as a vessel the congregation enjoys and an opportunity for a forum to discuss energy and the greening of our earth, this is a great opportunity to involve cross-generations and a wonderful, exciting opportunity.
And Tom, didn't you already do a lot for the church after the earthquake?
Well, that's when we did the retrofit. It was an over $6 million operation. We got about half of that money came from the FEMA and also from the city of Oakland. And the balance came from the congregation. They raised that kind of money, and it was a very satisfying effort on everybody's part, and everyone contributed. No small donations were rejected. We all got involved. We were all excited. It was a real community project.
So if you'd like to join us, we meet once a month, and we're using Zoom, and we have a nice group, and we welcome new people. So think about it.
I think that in summary, I do believe that we do have but one earth, and we have our congregation, and it's time now to do something for tomorrow, for our children, and for our children's children. So join us. We are a serious and fun-loving group of people, and we do make a difference. Maybe so. Maybe so.
We got the whole world in our hands. 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 We should recycle now all that we can. Reduce, reuse, recycle all that we can. We should reduce, recycle all that we can. We've got the whole world in our hands. Be kind to plants and animals in our land. Be kind to plants and animals in our land. Be kind to plants and animals in our land. We've got the whole world in our hands. We've got the whole world in our hands. We got the whole world in our hands. We got the whole world in our hands. We got the whole world in our hands. Shake hands with sisters and brothers throughout the land. Join hands with sisters and brothers throughout the land. Join hands with sisters and brothers throughout the land. We got the whole world in our hands. Well, you dream your bright dream, then do all you can. Dream your bright dream, then do all you can. Dream a bright dream, then do all you can. We've got the whole world in our hands. We've got the whole world in our hands. We got the whole world in our hands. We got the whole world in our hands. We got the whole world in our hands. We've got the whole world in our hands. We got the whole world in our hands. We got the whole world in our hands. We got the whole world in our hands.
Hi, I'm Jack Macy, a longtime member of this church and with the Earth Justice Associates that helps bring you this Earth Day service. I hope that you're all staying safe and well in this unprecedented and challenging time. What a dramatic change there's been to our lives and community in staying physically apart and feeling the loss of what we had and the uncertainty of what lays ahead. I miss seeing many of you. I'd like to share some thoughts on these times of this 50th anniversary of Earth Day. A lot's happened in 50 years, but I don't want to dwell on that. What we're facing today is compelling enough. So today we are hit with this vital health crisis, but we are facing a much more serious and scary global environmental and climate crisis that is creating great suffering and posing an existential threat to life on Earth. What does this pandemic's response show us in facing this greater crisis? Well, I've been amazed to see how dramatic and rapid the response has been by so many people, businesses, institutions, government, all sectors of society across this country and around the world. We're seeing people stay home like never before, people performing essential services, making sacrifices to help protect others with many acts of kindness, mutual aid and support, many of us donating, and the big risks being taken by frontline workers. There's a real collective effort underway to care for one another. This is a shift from meeting primarily personal, it seems to me, one's personal family needs to meeting a collective need, from me to we. However, this pandemic has demonstrated the deadly consequences of ignoring expert scientific warnings and the impact of political delay and favoritism to sacrifice health for corporate greed, and as it is with climate action delay, and the terrifying impact of exponential change. The intersections of many injustices are being laid brutally bare, especially structural racism and economic inequality. Those already disadvantaged, many people of color, are more health and economically impacted by this pandemic. We're learning how air pollution lowers immunity, contributing to underlying conditions that are likely to have more severe consequences, if not death, from COVID. 3/4 of infectious diseases that move from animals to humans are made more rapid with climate disruption, deforestation, wildlife trafficking, and other habitat destruction. After many years of increasing pollution and the highest levels of carbon in our atmosphere in millions of years, suddenly the brake has been put on by this shutdown. Emissions dropped with 40% less people driving and 95% less flying and less travel. That's in the US, and less travel around the world. The Earth seems to be taking a deep breath. LA is seeing the cleanest air in over 40 years. And many places around the globe are seeing cleaner air and water than they've seen in decades. This shows us how fast the Earth can respond. The Earth can recover when it gets a breather. I've never seen so many or heard so many birds singing in my backyard where I've lived for 20 years. We're reminded by how interconnected we all are with each other and the greater web of life, and the power that we all have in impacting that web. That is our 7th UU principle, and we need to not only respect that web, but remember that we deeply belong to it, and it is a part of us. We can't stay locked down, and our economy needs to recover, but how can we do so in a just way? We need to address many injustices: social, environmental, racial. Emissions are projected to drop 3% this year, but we need to reduce emissions by 7% a year to meet the Paris climate goals. There are many opportunities and needs. We're seeing that if we come together in common cause, rapid change is possible. Government is now spending trillions of dollars, unheard of, and with more to come. The Green New Deal offers an exciting, just framework for moving to clean, renewable energy, affordable housing, guaranteed health care, livable wage jobs, and healthy food to meet real human needs. This is a critical year for all of us to change the balance of power to help us achieve a just and healthy transition to a new future. Terry Tempest Williams, activist and author, recently said, "We're going to be facing some very hard things in the future, and I hope that we have the consciousness that can rise to this moment." That's the question I have. How do we find the strength to not look away? I would like to end with Arundhati Roy, the famous novelist from India, who wrote an essay in the Financial Times on April 3rd that ended with this. "The coronavirus has made the mighty kneel and brought the world to a halt like nothing else could. Our minds are still racing back and forth, longing for a return to normalcy, trying to stitch our future to our past and refusing to acknowledge the rupture. But the rupture exists. And in the midst of this terrible despair, it offers us a chance to rethink the doomsday machine we have built for ourselves. Nothing could be worse than a return to normalcy. Historically, pandemics have forced humans to break with the past and imagine their world anew. This one is no different. It is a portal, a gateway between one world and the next. We can choose to walk through it, dragging the carcasses of our prejudice and hatred, our avarice, our data banks and dead ideas, our dead rivers and smoky skies behind us. Or we can walk through lightly, with little luggage, ready to imagine another world, and ready to fight for it. May it be so.
On a sleepy, endless ocean, when the world lay in a dream, there was rhythm in the splash and roll, but not a voice to sing. So the moon fell on the breakers, and the morning warmed the waves, and a single cell did jump and hum with joy, as though to say, "This is my home, this is my only home, this is the only sacred ground that I have ever known." I stray in the dark night alone, rock me, goddess, in the gentle arms of Eden. And the day shone bright around her, and the one turned into two, and two into 10,000 things, and old things into new. And on some virgin beachhead, one lonesome critter crawled, and he looked about and shouted out in his most astonished drawl, "This is my home, this is my only home, this is the only sacred ground that I have ever known." And should I stray in the dark night alone, rock me, goddess, in the gentle arms of Eden. And all the sky was buzzing, and the ground turned carpet green, and the weary children of the woods went dancing in between. And people sang rejoicing, when the fields were glad with grain, this song of celebration from their cities on the plain. This is my home, this is my only home, this is the only sacred ground that I have ever known. And should I stray in the dark night alone, rock me, goddess, in the gentle arms of Eden. Now there's smoke across the harbor, and there's factories cities on the shore, and the world is ill with greed and will and enterprise of war. But I will lay my burdens in the cradle of your grace, and the shining beaches of your love, and the sea of your embrace. This is my home, this is my only home, this is the only sacred ground that I have ever known. And should I stray in the dark night alone, rock me, goddess, in the gentle arms of Eden. Rock me, goddess, in the gentle arms of Eden.
Hi, my name is Lydia, and I grew up in the Foucault community, and now I'm a first-year student at McAllister College in St. Paul, Minnesota, although now I'm home doing Zoom University like most students are. Super fun. But I wanted to talk a little bit about how UU principles have played a really important role in shaping my relationship to the world around me and to myself and to other people. And perhaps the most profound principle in my life has been the seventh principle, which is respect for the interdependent web of all existence in which we are a part. And I think this principle has really taken on a new and even more significant meaning in this time, and a new dimension of meaning perhaps. Now in the COVID era, in which the systems around us are collapsing and shifting, and their violent and oppressive nature is even more apparent than ever before. And how truly unsustainable this capitalist extractive system we're living in is just really apparent. And also, I think that interconnectedness, which is what this principle is all about, is really highlighted right now. And when I say new meaning, I think I've always thought of this principle as talking about an interconnectedness between, humans and nature and animals and plants and trees and the sky, and not just the human world, which I do think is still really true and really meaningful right now, and we can really see that right now. We can see that we're not exempt from climate disaster and pandemics and extinction. This threat of our mortality is very apparent right now. Not that I think we're going extinct, that's not what I'm saying. But anyway, I think that another dimension of this interconnectedness is really, really important and apparent to see, and that is this interconnectedness of social issues and struggles. And I think that right now we're really seeing that you can't win or solve one issue without attacking the other. For example, we can't solve the climate crisis, this huge looming crisis ahead of us, if we're not also solving social inequality. And with that comes healthcare and racial inequality and so many various forms of oppression, worker oppression. We have to solve them all together in order to win and to reshape and re-envision our society, because we truly can't go back to normalcy after this pandemic. We have to carry forward and recreate and reimagine a society that really appreciates our interconnectedness and protects the earth and all of its inhabitants, and specifically those who are bearing the brunt of this pandemic, of climate disaster and extractive capitalism. And these are poor and low-income communities, frontline and essential workers, and Black, Brown, and Indigenous people. And over the past year, I've become more involved in organizing with climate justice efforts. So specifically the Sunrise Movement, which is a movement of young people specifically working to fight climate change and create millions of jobs, green jobs, in the process. and really just re-envision a new society. And we're champions of the Green New Deal, which attacks climate change at a social political level by attacking social inequality. And also I've been more involved in Minnesota 350's Pipeline Resistance Team, which is a team that supports the Anishinaabe indigenous community in northern Minnesota who are fighting against the construction of one of Enbridge's crude tar sands oil pipelines that goes through sovereign treaty land. So my role in this work really is to follow the lead of Black, Brown, and Indigenous and working leaders and fight for a society and for policies that protect Indigenous sovereignty and working people and stop fossil fuel and other corporations from exploiting the earth and working people, and to shift our society into one that protects the earth and its people and is free from billionaire corporate executives and corrupt politicians. And I think right now we're really seeing that we need these things more than ever before. We need a Green New Deal more than ever before. And we need to restart our economy into a sustainable one that's sustainable for humans, for workers, and for the earth. And so I rambled a lot, but I think that what's really important right now is to assess our own positions and assess how this pandemic and how the climate crisis is impacting us differently, and use that to find our place in a movement to support Indigenous sovereignty, to support working people, and to really see the connections between all these issues. I really think that's the most important thing. And to draw on our beautiful relationship and access to nature and to the earth in order to find energy to do that. Because the earth can fuel us to protect it and to protect people. So amidst all this fear and devastation and pain, there's also hope for a new world that serves all of us and protects us from pandemics and disasters like this in the future. Thank you all. Happy Earth Day. Get out into nature. Donate to an Indigenous frontline sovereignty movement. Donate to the Sunrise Movement. Phone bank for a Green New Deal champion. There's so much you can do. And enjoy the earth. Thank her. Thank the earth. Thank you. Bye.
Look at this amazing plant. I provided good soil for it, and I watered it for a couple of years. During that time, it had these great leaves, but it was just a rounded shrub. And then this year, it turned into this beautiful blossoming creature. And I'm thinking that the church is kind of like that, in that we nourish it with our love and our effort and our money, and it produces stuff for us beyond our imagination. But this time the church really needs some nourishment, because usually we make money from rentals, but they're gone with the wind, with the virus, and the expenses are still there. So I'm asking you, if you can, to make a special contribution to help the church. Reverend Teresa will tell you how.
The giving link on the website brings you to this page. Click one-time donation and you get to this page. You roll to the bottom and you'll be able to put in the amount. You can also put a remark about your donation in the box on the right. Check the date and the amount on the bottom. And then you'll be able to click continue. That will take you to the payment page, credit or debit card, checking or savings. You can put your information and submit your gift. We now have 2 ways to give. You can give with your mobile phone app called Give Plus. Look for the Give Plus app. Link to full instructions follow, and the link will be below the video in the description. Look for an icon similar to this design. To find the instructions, type bit.ly/give+instructions in complete words in your browser bar. That's bit.ly/give+instructions. See, there it is. bit.ly/give+instructions. You can even print them out to follow along. If you need help, email the finance team finance@uuoakland.org. That's finance@uuoakland.org. And many thanks to the finance team for their work in making this possible.
Still my dry land heart can say
Our house is on fire. I am here to say our house is on fire. According to the IPCC, we are less than 12 years away from not being able to undo our mistakes. At places like Davos, people like to tell success stories, but their financial success has come with an unthinkable price tag. And on climate change, we have to acknowledge that we have failed. All political movements in their present form have done so. And the media has failed to create broad public awareness. But Homo sapiens have not yet failed. Yes, we are failing, but there is still time to turn everything around. We can still fix this. We still have everything in our own hands. Now is the time to speak clearly. Solving the climate crisis is the greatest and most complex challenge that Homo sapiens have ever faced. The main solution, however, is so simple that even a small child can understand it. We have to stop the emissions of greenhouse gases. And either we do that or we don't. You say nothing in life is black or white, but that is a lie, a very dangerous lie. Either we prevent a 1.5 degree of warming or we don't. Either we avoid setting off that irreversible chain reaction beyond human control or we don't. Either we choose to go on as a civilization or we don't. That is as black or white as it gets. We must change almost everything in our current societies. The bigger your carbon footprint is, the bigger your moral duty. The bigger your platform, the bigger your responsibility. Adults keep saying we owe it to the young people to give them hope. But I don't want your hope. I don't want you to be hopeful. I want you to panic. I want you to feel the fear I feel every day. And then I want you to act. I want you to act as if you would in a crisis. I want you to act as if the house was on fire. Because it is.